welcome to my latest video in my Road to Waterloo series. So in the second part of our Waterloo game we're going to start, well, from the first part we're going to start with D'Erlon's attack and the cavalry counterattacks that happened, and then the second part of the game we're going to play probably on a subsequent day is the arrival of the Prussian reinforcements at Prussian and the old guard attack going in on the Allied centre. So as part of that, I will need to have my Prussian forces on the table, and a number of you have asked for sight of some of my Prussian forces. And these are a much more eclectic collection of figures. I mainly bought these off eBay, focusing my painting efforts mainly on my British and French units, and I don't think I've done any of these, perhaps with a few odd individual skirmishes. Anyway, these are all eBay purchases, pretty much, Kevin, my mate, did a few of them as well. So apart from that, yeah, pretty much all from eBay. So I'd always recommend having a look at eBay. You do get some really nice figures on there. But you just got to be really careful that the ones you pick up have been done, for me anyway, to a really high quality, as there's an awful lot of trash on eBay, as I'm sure you've seen. Anyway, let's have a look at what we've got here. So this set of figures represents the 5th Brigade that was in the 2nd Corps that did fight at Waterloo, arrived later in the morning. I think they took part in their later assaults on Prussian. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Still struggling with that. I really ought to look up a pronunciation guide. So first, I've got a couple of Lutzow battalions. I'm trying to remember, I think it's the 25th Regiment these formed part of, and they still fought in their black uniforms. The 3rd Regiment, or 3rd Battalion in the regiment, was in normal Prussian uniforms. So I've got two units in black and one in traditional Prussian blue. Now these first two units were from Peter, the owner of Cult Figures. They were part of his collection, and he sold them off 2 or 3 years ago now. And I took the opportunity of buying them. I think they were the first Prussian units I got, and these have been particularly nicely painted. So there you go, there's the 1st Lutzow Regiment, and then we've got the 2nd one here. These are all Count miniatures, so the whole collection is Count, even though, as I say, I've got it from various different sources. They are all Count figures, and I've tried to make sure I'm using those. So 2 battalions of Lutzow in the 25th Regiment, and then another unit of regular Prussian musketeers with red facings, which is the right facing colour for the 25th Regiment. They need a bit more work on the faces, I think, make the contrast a bit brighter, but I have rebased all of the other figures so they look consistent. I haven't done it with Peter's because they've got these lovely bases on them, and he's not done them on MDF, they're done actually on plywood. And getting the figures off plywood can be extremely difficult. Okay, so the 2nd unit we'll have a look at is the 2nd Infantry Regiment. These, again, are Cult figures bought off eBay. This was actually my first venture into eBay after I bought the figures from Peter. And these ones are really, really nice quality. I could tell when I looked at the photographs on eBay, these have been really, really well painted. I think GMB flags, so again, they always look fabulous. Now these units should be slightly larger, and in hindsight I might have gone for Peter's system of doing them in 4 bases to the battalion, but I've gone with 6-figure bases because I've used that throughout my French and my Allied army, irrespective of the battalion size and the company structure. So I've done the same with this, and these battalions are slightly smaller because they were only sold as 24-figure battalions. So I might, in due course, get around to painting another couple of bases to these to make them up to 5 or 6-figure battalions, but I'm really pleased with those really, really nice figures, and they are the 2nd Regiment. I think it might be West Prussian, but that's from memory, that's fine. And then we've got a commander here, Brigadier, or a regimental commander, to support that regiment. Now you might know that most Prussian divisions, or brigades as they called them, so this 9 battalion formation is inverted commas a brigade, but divisional side in Allied or French army scale, had attached cavalry. So we do have the attached Hussar Regiment. I actually had a unit of Cumberland's Hussars, and they were basically, as by repute, in pretty much every rule set, completely useless. So in the end I despaired with them. They looked lovely, I think, and you can see these figures don't look quite right because they've got some of the tassels off the previous helmets sculpted onto the figures, because I used obviously British Hussars for the Cumberlands. But I did, in a moment of a moment of panic, no, a moment of enthusiasm, rip all their heads off and replace them with Prussian shakos, covered shakos. And the uniforms are, certainly the colorations, the dark green with the yellow trim and the red on the collars is identical to the, I think it's the 6th Hussars that was brigaded or attached to this particular Prussian brigade. So they're a good representation of the Prussian Hussars that fought in with the 5th Brigade at Waterloo. So we've got the regular regiment, we've got Lutzo's 25th, so the reservist regiment, and then we've got the Landwehr regiment. So again, these are stronger iron, painting away, getting the extra 2 bases for each of these to take these up to 6 strong. But these are my Landwehr battalions. So again, really nice. I love the Landwehr in the Prussian army. You can see that the allegation that all Prussians are just blue, well, it's reasonably true. Most of these units are indeed blue in this particular brigade. When I show you my 2nd brigade, you'll see it's a bit different. But I do think all the facings and the coloration on the hats especially makes the Landwehr look especially good figures. So again, Kelp miniatures for them. And Kelp miniatures throughout. I should have mentioned the Hussars are actually Perry miniatures, British Hussars. Then I've got my command stand with a Westphalian Landwehr officer and a regular officer to command the brigade, and I have the Westphalian regimental or brigade commander there, and we got a Prussian artillery battery as well, also from Kelp. So there you go, there's one of the Prussian brigades that will be fighting at Waterloo, trying to recapture Place Saint-Marc. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and me and Charlie will bring you, hopefully in a video or two's time, the day of us working on the setup for our Waterloo game as we get ready for the big game on Waterloo's anniversary. I'll just do a final pan through these figures and see you all soon next time. Cheers guys, have a great weekend.